All right, this is my review for October 21st, 2025. You can see we had a little bit of P&L volatility here. It dipped down into the negative briefly, but they were all good trades as far as I know. We'll find out for sure if they were good trades, but I'm pretty sure they were. Um, 6 trades at a 67% win rate, 4 wins, 2 losses. Average win was 3.5 ticks, and average loss was 3 ticks. So roughly 1-to-1 win rate at 67%, or 1-to-1 risk reward at 67% win rate. Pretty happy with that. Let's jump into the trades themselves. Trade number 1 was a 3-tick profit to the short side. Let's back the recording up and listen to the narration. I may not have been narrating this first trade, but let's see. Yeah, I don't think I was. So I took a little bit of drawdown here, about 3 ticks, shorting into seller strength. So this was a momentum continuation trade. It keeps pulling back on me. Looks like I had 4 ticks drawdown there. It invalidates the high of the ATR candle, and then it comes back down into the lows, and I get a good continuation. We are kind of slip ranging here, though, and I am at the bottom of a slip range, which I do not like. I think being at the bottom of a slip range like that has a lot of backside risk. So I will make sure that is represented in my tags. Could have got a few more ticks out of it, but it is what it is. I got more than enough out of it considering the EV. So tags, momentum, ATR candle continuation, conservative scalp. I tag that as a B grade setup. I might go with C just because we're so close to the moving average. I would like to see us get a little bit more distance. I don't like it when it's super choppy like this. Also have range against. Not a whole lot in my favor. I do have some small order blocks. Let's rewind to the point of entry. I just want to see what the market orders look like. There's actually some pretty big buying market orders there. So this might be a tag for strong tape against. Did not have the best tape advantage. I think that's it, unfortunately. Was this the top tick? Or was the next one the top tick? I think the next one was the top tick. So yeah, that's going to have to do for now. I did have an area of interest. We are trading near the prior day high. But more factors against me than in my favor, unfortunately. Yeah. I can't see a whole lot else that I had going for me. Slip against. I did feel clear here, and I did have good pulse checks. I think I had 2 paper trades before this. Calmness. I was pretty calm here. I don't have my heart rate displayed, but I did feel pretty good. I'll tag it as 70 to 90 just because it's my first trade. I usually feel pretty good on my first trade. Yes, content. I'm going to put maybe patient. I did rush into this session a little bit. I should have maybe taken a little bit more time to go over my plan and stuff like that. I'm going to yellow star this one. Next trade is a 4-tick profit to the short side. I'm going to rewind and play the replay. I like the momentum. I'm going to try it, the 83 short. I think I can get away with moving my stop up a little bit. Steady selling here. I'll take it for 5, maybe the 4 if it'll give it to me. And I got the 4. All right, so I like that one a lot. I think I had some pretty good edge working for me. Let's jump into Y. So I think I went short 83.50. Just double check. No, 83. So short at 83, out at 82. So let's tag all this. So coming off of fresh convergence, and trading to below. We also had a top tick above overnight high. And a continuation downwards. Selling. All right, let's narrate this. So plus 4 ticks short. All right. So pretty good screenshot here. And this just says that we had some very good selling after the top tick, which was important. We top ticked up there, we got a huge number of buyers on that move up, and then it immediately failed on them. So they're all underwater, which is going to help with more momentum to the downside. This was a mean reversion, and I did not have any ATR candles, unfortunately. That I think really would have boosted this quality of this setup up a lot. My entry was good, my exit was good. I think it was worth 4 ticks. I don't think I really could have stayed much longer. I don't think there's much of a range here or a trend really. We're just kind of bouncing around. Top tick favor. Maybe reclaim favor. It's pretty decent reclaim below us. And I need to add a new tag. I've got so many tags now. Convergence. Moving my stop up a little bit. Want to throw that convergence tag on there. Actually, maybe convergence should go because it's never really possible to have convergence against you. So maybe what I'll do is I'll move convergence over to setup. I can get rid of that one, which will free up some room. Moving my stop up a little bit. So mean reversion with convergence favor, reclaim favor. I was slip against here. Market read was still pretty good. I'm gonna take off the pulse check tags. That should be the only first. That should only be the first trade. I'm gonna put maybe calm because my heart rate's pretty elevated. Yes, content, and yes, patient. I did wait quite a while after my last trade. This is more than 10 minutes after my last trade, which I am happy about. And well, green start. I think that was a really good setup. It's a B. It could have been an A if I had maybe some sort of ATR candle or something like that working for me, but that is good enough. Trade number 3 is a 4 tick loss to the long side. So it looks like I was offsides with my long trades today. Both my losers were long. All of my winners were short. So let's see what happened here. I think I can risk a point here. This is a pretty tight risk. Took the stop. This is, I think I'm buying. Let me see if I can talk about it. I'm going to rewind again. Don't have ATR candle advantage, which I would like. Oh, there's one. Yeah, there's some decent buying here. I'm going to try the long at 83.50. I think I can risk a point here. Alright, so I think I threw a tight risk wrong here. I'm trying to trade into a convergence stop, but I only have one convergence, and that's just not enough. It's not enough edge, obviously. So let's screenshot it. Do this one quickly. This is the 3-second. not enough edge in just one convergence. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to this. There's just not enough edge there. There's just one convergence. So this was an unnecessary loss. It could have easily been prevented. So I'm gonna red star it. I'm gonna tag this as no factors of support because I don't really see any reason for me to be long up here. And I suppose the setup would have been momentum convergence. But I just don't really think there's momentum, and the tape isn't really that strong either. I mean, a big seller came in against me. I can't really predict that. But even at the time of entry, I mean, tape is not very strong. If anything, it's strong against me. I also had a top tick against me. It had just top ticked a couple minutes prior. Strong tape against. And I guess we had big order blocks in my favor, but that's about it. This was a pretty aggressive scalp. I like to use the term aggressive, meaning that I'm just trying to, I don't have mean advantage or anything like that. I'm just kind of attacking. This was risk off environment, I'm pretty sure. Especially since it was so grindy today. Missing context and impulsive is what I would say. Slip none. There's not really any slip range here. And I think I'm confused. I'm confused on my read here. Not very calm either. I'm gonna put maybe calm. I like to reserve tilt for when I'm like really actually tilted. But my heart rate is at 122, which is red. Am I okay with P&L? After this, I was maybe content. And my patience, I'm gonna say maybe patient. So yellow. Not great. Trade number 4 is a 2-tick loss to the long sides. This is try 2 of the last idea. I'm actually going to copy the tags from the last one. Paste that in there. Let's say try 2. Do a big order block in my favor. I actually have some small order blocks too. So the setup's changed a little bit. And I will slap a range favor on there. So something's changed. At least something has changed in my try 2. Which is the point of trying again. The point of trying a setup again is that something has changed. That means that the setup is still valid. And while this is not a good setup, something did change here. And it was slightly more conservative. This is a more conservative approach than the last. However, if you play it, I also like that I got out for smaller loss. I don't, so it comes back on me. I take it off. It would have taken my 4-tick stop, and then it would have ran against me. Yeah, so that was a good cut. So for that reason, this is going to be a yellow star with a good exit tag. I should tag my entry too. I'm gonna tag entry. I guess entry good too. It was a decent attempt. The second attempt was way better than the first one, even though it's not a great setup. Not necessarily impulsive here. This time I did have slip favor. I'm going to move my market read to in between. It wasn't necessarily confused here. I had a little bit more clarity, but my emotional tags are going to all be yellow. Maybe calm, maybe content, maybe patient. Trade number 5 is a 3-tick profit to the short side. Let's rewind and listen to the narration. Try the short, 81.25. Took it off there for 3. So that was a good. So I don't really narrate that much. Let's see if I can rewind it a little further. Get some more narration here. So there's some good tape strength here. We're selling off pretty aggressively into the low of the range. Got a good convergence. This could be breaking out. Try the short, 81.25. Took it off there for 3. Maybe could have gotten the vortex, but it would have been tight and it would have came back on me a little bit there. So 3 was probably the right move. So screen. So price is failing to stay above this convergence right here. Let's mark them. 1, 2, 3. Technically 4. think that explains it pretty good. I like the setup a lot. This was technically I guess it is technically momentum, so it's a momentum. I do not have an ATR candle. I actually can't tell because I don't have my other screen up, but I don't think it was. I need to know what the ATR was at this point in the session. Yeah, either way. Either way, it did have convergence, so I'm gonna get rid of the ATR candle because there's nothing notable. Like there's a really wide candle here. So momentum convergence trade. Technically mean revert too, because we are rooting off of that. But let's not focus on that for now. I didn't really have a whole lot as far as order blocks. I did have strong tape in my favor. I did have a V flush in my favor. No range, no trend either. There is reclaim below us. And there is at least small order blocks. I have big order blocks on my backside. That's about it. Maybe I'll tag range against just because there's kind of a slip range here. I'm baiting. I will tag multiple factions support on that. I had this tagged as a B, but I'll switch it to an A. I think this is an A setup. There's a lot of good convergences that I'm trading into. I had pretty good momentum. This was slip against. I was pretty clear on this trade. My heart rate's pretty elevated. I'll put maybe calm. At this point, I was way more content with my P&L, and I was pretty patient. This was for more than 5 minutes after my last trade, and this will be a green star. Trade number 6 is a 4-tick profit to the short side. I'm going to rewind just a little bit. Now I've got a double convergence level here at 80 even. With reclaim below. Pretty steady selling. I'm going to try the short 79.75. I want to keep my wrist tight on this because of the reclaim risk. It looks good so far. It is accepting down here below the 50 MA. Good, more selling. Good compression here. See if we can get a bit more continuation. I'll take the point. Got the point. So it looks like we fixed those mistakes from earlier. I like that trade a lot. I'm going to fast forward just for shits and giggles and see if I could have held it. I don't think I could have. The video ends here. It looks like that's all I was able to get out of it. Let's screenshot this bad boy, because I think this will also be an A setup. So, convergences, we've got 1. We've got 2. And where is this guy coming from? Is this old? 3. entry. My exit. I don't see him here. This. This. Is rejected here. All right. Essentially just a bunch of convergences. I like that they reject. I think that might be a pretty big source of edge in the future. This was technically momentum because I'm riding a downtrend. So momentum, convergence. Did I have an ATR candle? When that broke, I may have. I may have had an ATR candle. ATR continuation. I had some smaller blocks below me. I had strong tape. A volume gap I'm not really sure of. Maybe I can see one on the 30. Yeah, there is a bit of a volume gap here. Kind of. I can't really say. I'm not going to tag it as that. We're still coming off that top tick. Got reclaim below. I think that's it. Against maybe range against. Entry good, exit good. This was pretty conservative. A setup, risk off. Slip. I was slip against. I was clear. Maybe calm because my heart rate's elevated. Yes, content, and yes, patient. I think I waited at least a decent amount. This is kind of a try too from the short I took earlier, but I mean, they are technically two different setups, and that will be Green Star. I like that trade a lot. So let's jump into the daily report card. Um, my long-term goal is to never attempt a single trade idea more than twice. And I did that today. There was one idea that I attempted twice, but that was it. Never more than that. And I realized that in the moment too. I thought, all right, that's my two attempts. So with that in mind, I would grade myself with an A today. I think I did excellent. A couple things hold me back from being an A plus today. I think um, that unnecessary loss I took on that idea, there really was a clear lack of context there, which I wish I was just paying a little bit more attention to, but I won't beat myself up over that too bad. Um, easiest trade was probably the last trade number 6 for 4 ticks profit. I just had so much aligning. There was so many layers of edge there. It was really quick. My heart rate was elevated probably just because it's the end of the session. I was up and I was down and I was up and I was down and I was probably just really nervous about this trade coming back against me, which is something I need to worry about or work on because I shouldn't be that stressed out with a trade, especially if it's got a lot of edge. So figuring out ways to get that heart rate down is something that I need to work on in the future. Um, things I did good. I managed my risk pretty well. Kept my losses small. I'm really glad I got out of that one trade for a 2 tick loss. That really saved my session there. It would have been much harder to come back from a bigger loss. I think I did a good job of keeping up with my chart drawings. I came into the session pretty flustered and pretty confused. I'm trading much later in the day than I usually do, but I think I recovered well and I quickly regained that focus and that concentration. Um, and I'm glad I didn't push it. I'm glad my patience is pretty good today. I didn't get crazy with my patience. Sometimes, especially these late sessions, I'll just I'll just jump in and start firing bullets. Um, but today was quite the opposite. I think I did a good job of staying cool, staying calm, waiting for moments of clarity. Um, things I need to improve on. Uh, I think I just need to pay a little bit more attention to contextual cues. Um, I do think that 4 tick loss today was very easily preventable. I just taken a little bit more time to think about what was going on and what price was doing, what the charts were telling me, stuff like that. Um, I think that was an unnecessary loss. So just pay more attention. Um, keep tabs, checking on the chart every once in a while. Make conscious decisions instead of subconscious ones. Sometimes I have a habit of just seeing something I like and clicking a button, but I should be taking a little bit more time to think about where we are on the chart, what's setting up, what's not setting up, what's valid, what's not valid, things like that. Um, and I think that's it. I can't think of much more. I'm pretty happy with today's session. It was nice and calm. It was a cool session, um, and I hope I can replicate that in the future. So I will call that a review.